Andrew Tate is one of the most popular influencers of all time. And despite the fact that his unconventional statements got him banned from pretty much all the top social networks, by the way, at the time of recording this video, only Elon Musk has been the top G to unban him from Twitter, he is still everywhere. You see his videos all over the place, and if you are a parent of a teenager, they too see them, and most importantly, watch them. So in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what I told my 14-year-old son about Andrew Tate. We will talk about his teachings, lifestyle, wealth, and how as a parent you can and should translate what Andrew is saying so that your kid is equipped with the right base to take action. If you want to understand who Andrew Tate really is, it's important for you to watch this video until the very end. All right, let's begin. Now, before we talk about what I told my son about Andrew Tate, we need to look at his recent history because, let's face it, Tate was largely unknown until 2022, particularly August 2022, when he was famously banned from social networks, causing a wave of mainstream media response. Despite all of the giant media platforms and powerful elite trying to silence him and hurt his business, or I would even say thanks to that, Tate has expanded his money-making capabilities and took full advantage of his popularity to multiply his wealth. But more importantly, even though every mainstream media outlet wanted to silence him and prevent his wealth from growing, his voice and particular style of delivering his message are awakening more and more people. You see, as a business owner myself, I have watched Andrew Tate's videos and listened to some of his more in-depth podcast interviews. And what I found behind his sometimes unconventional or even controversial statements are dozens of high-value lessons that anyone can apply to improve their lives, including making more money right now, today. And this leads us to the topic of this video. Look, I have three sons. I have 14-year-old, 9-year-old, and 4-year-old. And so my 14-year-old is all a bit obsessed with YouTube and as of recently with Andrew Tate's videos particularly. He is fascinated with Tate's speaking style and ability to make money. And of course, he loves the part where Andrew is saying,
"Well, what color is your Bugatti?"
I must admit, that part is really cool. I also love it. The important thing here is to ensure that a teenager like my son sees behind the rich and fame and understands what Andrew is really trying to communicate. Now, when I take my son to school in the mornings, that's about 45-minute drive. It gives us plenty of time to catch up and discuss many different topics. So during these conversations, we talk a lot about personal development, growth, wealth, and what's really happening in the world. And of course, one morning we talked about Andrew Tate. Now, our conversation started with looking at where he is now, but more importantly, how he got there. You see, this is the part most people don't understand because they don't take the time to listen and absorb the information. I mean, you can love or hate Andrew Tate, but if your eyes and ears are open, you can't deny that he knows what he's talking about. He has a fortune of $200 or $300 million, making him one of the world's wealthiest people. But where does Tate's massive fortune comes from? You see, Andrew Tate doesn't come from wealth. His father was a professional chess player and his mother used to be dinner lady washing dishes. He started to train as a professional kickboxer at age 15, and that's when his most useful skill today, thinking and mindset, started to shape up. During his illustrious kickboxing career, Tate became a 4-time world champion, winning 76 out of 85 professional fights. You see, what most people don't appreciate is what's truly required to become a world champion. You can't do that without discipline and hard work day in and day out. Many people just give him a 1-second look and judge. They think about him as a Bugatti man or a guy who hates women, when in fact that's totally not true. But only those who pay attention truly understands that only through insane obsession, dedication, hard work, and never give up attitude Has Andrew Tate become the warrior and wealthy man he is today at just 36 years old? So the first lesson I gave to my son is this: work hard and become obsessed. In one of his videos, Andrew Tate confesses that he works all the time. No matter if he feels happy, sad, or angry, when he's awake, he works. He believes that people who are disciplined can achieve great results in life. I mean, you can't aspire to be the best if you go to the gym or work on your business only on the days you feel motivated. You must be willing to give 100% of yourself even when you don't want to. Andrew Tate found kickboxing. He realized that he was good at fighting and worked really hard to become one of the best. However, he was not born with skills he possesses. He's the man he is because he works hard to get what he wants. He has spent 10 years in the gym, training 6 hours a day on a diet to take on the best and beat them. Now, I'm not saying go buy some boxing or kickboxing gloves or start cracking heads, but if you want to achieve anything meaningful in life, you must develop the right skills and mindset. And for a 14-year-old, it starts with a decision. Do I play video games with my buddies, or do I read a book, learn a new skill, or train instead? Those are the decisions that will ultimately define the results your kid will get. Now, nothing's wrong with having fun sometimes, but most of the time, it must be the focus on the goal. Also, one other important note here is that Andrew Tate has worked 20 years to be where he is today. Remember, he started when he was 15 years old, and for the first 10 years, he was focused on kickboxing, nothing else. So it takes time to become somebody, and regardless of how long it takes, you must be willing to work hard at all times. The second lesson, have a plan for your dreams. If you want to be successful, it's not enough to sit back and wait for things to happen. Most people want to be rich, but only a few know how they will get there. If you want to aspire to great things, you need to think coldly about what you can do to achieve them and start taking massive action. That's the kind of mindset I want my son to have, and it may be something you want to teach your children as well. Understanding that nothing is given and that you must deliberately make a decision to do something and not to do something else is how Andrew Tate got the results you see today. He didn't just dream about it. He made a plan, adjusted the plan, continued on the path. Even today, he's still not satisfied. He's still pushing for more, a bigger dream. And you always need to have that attitude. You can't get complacent and just chill. So plan for action and just do it. And this brings us to the next lesson, which is don't waste your time. As a rule of thumb, poor people try to cut their costs. Rich people, however, try to increase their income and maximize their time. Intelligent people know how to delegate tasks to make their day run as smoothly as possible. Think of it this way. If you have watched my other videos by now, you're probably developing a fantastic skill that will one day help you amass millions of dollars. But if you are like most ordinary people who limit their work to earn money, you won't get much done in life. Wealthy people are constantly developing skills that allow them to generate more income regardless of the economical climate. So the main message that Andrew Tate is trying to convey here is that when you are awake, work on something that moves you forward instead of wasting time on stuff that contributes nothing to your results. Essentially, stop watching Netflix, playing video games, and instead start making progress toward the goal. Now, the next lesson is something I wish someone had told me when I was 14 years old, as that's when I started my first business. So, learn the principles of money. Nobody's teaching this. So one of the things Andrew teaches is understanding how money really works. He said when he was growing up, I thought everyone was poor. I thought there was no enough money in the world. So he talks about the positive anger that he had when he saw someone driving a Ferrari on the street while he was completely broke. He was asking himself a question: how is it possible that this guy is driving a Ferrari while I can't afford anything? So he became obsessed with studying money. What's an asset, what's a liability, and how all of these things work together. Now, one of the key lessons he's teaching in regards to money is to pay attention to how businesses are getting money from you. He says there is no such thing as making money, only taking money. So when you buy something next time, ask yourself, why did I give them my money? If you start to pay attention to things like these, it will impact your mindset and understanding of money, and it will open opportunities for you to make it. So don't just go out and spend money on stuff, as that will make you a slave to the system and will keep you broke. Knowing how money works is a serious thing, so learning it from a young age is essential. And that leads us to the next lesson, which is build a network of successful people. If you learn the fourth principle we just talked about, you will realize that there are plenty of ideas for making money. I mean, today you can do TikTok or YouTube videos, run an affiliate marketing business, or just become good at one skill and people will be willing to give you money. The problem is that there are too many choices. So as Tate himself is saying, ideas become cheap, execution is what's hard. People are lazy, they don't want to do the work. Therefore, developing a good network with people from all walks of life is how you can become street smart and how you can take advantage of the best ideas at a time. But where do you start as a teenager? Well, it starts in school. Pay attention to your classmates. Ask a lot of questions. What do they like? What they don't like? And why? Learn about their perspectives. Next, find someone online who's as successful as you would like to be one day and study them. For example, many kids want to become YouTubers like Mr. Beast. But did you know that Mr. Beast made YouTube videos for 6 years and was obsessed with learning everything about YouTube without making any money? Are you willing to do the same? So study successful people who are doing what you want to do and build that network step by step. Understand how their mind works as much as possible. Ask questions like, what would Andrew Tate do in this situation? Develop that kind of understanding of mindset. Now, let's stop here for a moment. After watching this so far, you may start to freak out and think that I'm his #1 fanboy. I'm not, but as a parent, my obligation is to explain to my kid the principles and lessons that a person as influential as Andrew Tate is teaching them. As otherwise, he might take the wrong lessons and focus on the wrong things. I want my kid to win in life, and by uncovering this otherwise hidden truth and value behind the man, I'm helping him to see the Tate from a different perspective. Even for myself, watching some of Andrew's videos helped me to realize many valuable lessons that contribute greatly to my family's growth, for which I will always be grateful. And this leads us to the next lesson. Don't spend the rest of your life in the matrix. The first rule to break the matrix is to realize that you are trapped in it. Our day-to-day lives fill us with activities, stimuli, and distractions that prevent us from seeing reality for what it is. We find ourselves trapped between news, emails, TV shows, consumerism, social networks, and much more. A bombardment of information that barely allows us to think for ourselves because the media and traditional education have done their best to keep us poor. This leads us to live in a world of stress, rush, lack of time, dissatisfaction, and fears. So we navigate this world on autopilot, letting others decide where our lives should go. That's the matrix that Andrew is talking about. Now, if you want to escape it, there are two choices you can have. One, you can forget that there is a better world and let others just guide you, which, believe me, will not be good for you in the long run because you will own nothing and be slave for the rest of your life. Or you can wake up right now and decide to shape your world. Now, I know I'm not as elegant of a speaker, nor am I close to the same wealth category as Andrew Tate is, but I have lived through struggles that many even surpass those of Andrew Tate. I started to build my business when I was 13 years old, doing hard manual labor for many years during cold winters, while all my classmates were just chilling at their warm homes. And coming from a poor teacher's family in Eastern Europe, I finished the high school with $100,000 capital in my hands. And I also know what it means to be attacked by Matrix, because after employing 200 employees and running a 7-figure per year company, I lost everything in 2008. You can read my story if you want to via the link description. So I know the power of your own decisions and how a decision to shape your world can impact your life. Therefore, when I discuss Matrix with my kid, we always talk about the two sides, the side that you see publicly and why it's built that way, and the truth, so what actually is happening. The key is to learn to navigate between these two sides. So my kid understands that they must earn the privilege to escape the Matrix, and the only way to do it in the modern world is by becoming rich. And to do that, you must take these lessons seriously and apply them in every little action every single day. All right, here's the final lesson from Andrew Tate. Complaining will get you nowhere. Life is hard, shit happens. There are lots of external factors that will fuck up your life. And you can blame your lack of results on the economy, parents, upbringing, traumas, and many more things. But none of this will get you anywhere. As I mentioned earlier, Andrew Tate was not born into a wealthy family. His father was a chess player, a very talented one, but there was no real money in the game of chess. Despite this, Andrew never complained about it. Instead, he found his own ways of building up his character and skills. First, he forayed into the world of kickboxing. Then he used his mindset to create multiple super successful businesses. He learned how to create companies, manage them, and convey his vision to his employees. If things aren't going well for you, it's never too late to start over, but you have to get out of your head all those limiting beliefs preventing you from growing financially and mentally. It's no one's fault that you are where you are today. Each person is responsible for their own actions, and I think that's one of the most valuable lessons we can learn from Andrew Tate today. So there you have 7 lessons that you can explain to your teenage kids so that they focus on the right things and can truly become successful in life. As parents, we only want our best for the kids, but sometimes we get in our kids' way. Allowing them to learn from someone like Andrew Tate can help them to become more independent thinkers and achieve more in life faster. I hope you liked this video. Please share it with your kid or other parents so they can also learn these lessons that I discussed with my 14-year-old son. And if you are not subscribed to my channel yet, please do that right now, as I'm sharing my experience as I went from completely broke in 2008 to a 7-figure business owner right now. Thanks for watching. This is Peter Gurdy. I'll talk to you soon. Be a force for good. Don't pretend. Push the limits.